we've had a lot of inquiries since our phenylacetone video, so we figured we'd skip to the chase and show you how to make our favorite psychoactive substance. Start with a springform non-stick tin. Ours is 16 cm in diameter and 6 cm deep. Use some butter and rub the sides and base of the tin, and then assemble it ready for baking. Now place a medium-sized pan on the gas and place 3 to 4 cm of water in it. Heat to boiling. While this is heating, prepare the ingredients for the first part of the reaction. Crack open 2 eggs, and then weigh out 50 grams of castor sugar. Now take a bowl and place it on top of the pot containing the boiling water. Add the sugar to the bowl, and then add the eggs. Now we need to beat this mixture together using the strong, good quality electric whisk. After a minute or so, record the temperature. Once it reaches 42 degrees C, take the bowl off the simmering pan and place it on the work surface. Whisk the mixture strongly and you'll see the volume increase a bit and the mixture will start to thicken as well. You want to get to the point where the mixture falls in ribbons from the mixer like this. Now measure out 3/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Use the good quality natural expensive stuff. Add this to the mixture and whisk well. Now measure out 50 grams of cake flour. This is flour with a low gluten content and so won't form as strong a dough, making it good for light products such as cakes. If you can't, use French unbleached patisserie flour. Now measure out 1/4 teaspoon of sodium bicarbonate powder and add it to the flour. Classically for a chain with sponge, this is cheating. However, we don't want to dense the texture to our sponge, so we add this in order to create a lighter texture. The sodium bicarbonate decomposes with heat to produce CO2 gas, causing the cake mixture to rise. Sift some of the flour mixture through a sieve onto the beaten egg yolk and sugar, and then on low power mix in for a few seconds only. Repeat the process with some more of the flour mixture. And keep going until added. Don't beat too much because it's important that we don't develop the gluten in the flour in order to get a light and fluffy product. At the end, your batter should look like this. Pour the batter into the cake tin we prepared earlier. It's about 1/4 full. And now bake in an oven at 180 degrees C for about 15 to 20 minutes. The result should look like this. Test it by inserting a metal skewer. It should emerge with no uncooked batter sticking to it. Allow to cool and then place in the fridge. Don't worry if it shrinks a bit. This is okay. Now for the next part of the reaction. First we will prepare an Italian meringue but made with egg yolks instead of whites. Crack 4 eggs and separate the yolks. Remember to save the whites for another experiment. French meringue served with strawberries and cream as an accompaniment to the product of this reaction is our suggestion. Add the egg yolks to a medium-sized bowl. and use the electric whisk to beat them strongly. As you beat them, they should slowly change color and become a light yellow, and gain a little volume. This is perfect. Now take a small metal saucepan and weigh out 60 grams of either caster or granulated sugar. Measure out 15 ml of water, and add this to the sugar in the saucepan. Now heat gently over a low heat. We want to melt the sugar but not turn it into a caramel or burn it. Swirl the pan to ensure all the sugar dissolves to form a syrup, which will start to bubble. Once it starts to boil, measure the temperature of the syrup. Once it reaches 125 degrees C, then turn off the heat but leave the pan on the stove so that it doesn't cool too much. Start whisking the egg yolks again, and slowly pour in the syrup. Add as slowly as possible, and try to pour into the egg yolk mixture next to the blades. Don't pour into the blades, or onto the side of the bowl. Once added, continue whisking on top speed until the mixture has thickened and increased in volume. Again, we've got that nice fluffy thick ribbon-like consistency. This is the base for our mousse. Now measure out 120 grams of whipping cream. Remember that to form a foam stabilized by the triglyceride fats, you need cream with a good fat content. At least 28% fat, so double check the label. The whipping action causes the microscopic fat globules in the cream emulsion to break up, releasing the triglyceride fats. As air is incorporated into the cream by the whipping motion, these triglyceride molecules stabilize tiny air bubbles by forming a triglyceride surface. The result is a foam generated. After a few minutes of whipping, the cream thickens, and this is the product. Keep this in a cool place until you need to use later. Now for the psychoactive ingredient, dark chocolate. We recommend using the very best quality dark chocolate with around 70% cocoa content. For the very smoothest and aromatic flavor with the finest cocoa particles, we use chocolate from Volreni in southern France. Guanage and especially Araguani are both Volreni products with a strong pure chocolate aroma and not too much acidity or bitterness. This is Araguani, but if you can't get this, then you'll have to slump it with Guanage instead. Heat the medium-sized pan containing 3 to 4 centimeters of water on a medium heat. When the water starts to boil, place a large flat bowl on top of the steam and add the chocolate to the bowl. This is a gentle way of melting the chocolate without burning it. The chocolate will start to melt quite quickly. Once it's melted, remove from the steam and place onto the work surface. Now weigh out 1 gram of powdered gelatin. Add a small amount of hot water and stir to dissolve. Use a microwave to heat and dissolve if necessary. Okay, now we're ready to create our mousse. Get the egg yolk foam we prepared earlier, and add this to the still molten chocolate. Stir in gently using a spoon. You should get a mixture with a beautiful brown color and a soft texture. Looking good. Now add the gelatin solution in water to the mixture and stir in well. Now for our whipped cream. Make sure the mixture is not too hot when you add this, or you will lose a lot of the air. Fold the cream into the mixture to create the mousse. It's not too liquid, but still just pourable and spreadable. Now take the sponge we prepared in the first reaction. Using a long serrated knife, cut the sponge into 2 halves. Try to make these as even as possible. Not perfect, but this will do fine. Take the bottom layer and place it back into the springform cake tin we used earlier. Cover this with a layer of the chocolate mousse. Use around 2/3 of the mousse. Speed the surface to make it even. Then cover with the other half of the sponge and add the remainder of the mousse to form the top layer. Here we go. Now place this into the refrigerator and leave it for around 4 hours for the gelatin to set. Try to resist opening the springform until after this time. Note that you can also freeze the cake for future consumption at this point. And here's our product. A vanilla sponge and chocolate truffle mousse cake. We're not going to win top marks for presentation, but you'll have to trust us when we say the flavor is quite superb. You can flatten down the surface with a knife if you want to, but we like the rustic look. A slice of this is certainly the thing to help when reactions don't work out the way you wanted them to. Here it is, our personal favorite psychoactive drug. Thanks for watching, and we hope you enjoyed this video and learned something about the chemistry of chocolate cake.